Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, using AI tools to power your tour business. This is presented by Zaui software and also including TourConnect AI. It is just after noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the Pacific Coast, and we're going to wait for a few more attendees to arrive. Give some folks a few minutes to join on and log into the webinar. We're excited to get started. We'll begin in about 3 minutes or so. In the meantime, while you wait, please take a look at the poll questions that we have available. Right at the bottom of your Zoom link, there should be a poll button. Feel free to click into that, answer the questions, and provides a little bit of background about who's attending today. And if you have any questions of your own, either right now that you want to see answered throughout the webinar, or as we go throughout our presentation today, feel free to ask those questions in the chat. Just click the questions button at the bottom of the Zoom link here. And we will be getting started very shortly in just a couple minutes. Just waiting for a few other attendees to join, and we'll jump in soon. All right, everybody, welcome once again to today's webinar. Again, talking about using AI tools to power your tour business. Today, we're featuring TourConnect AI. We're going to begin in just a minute here. If you do have any questions, we do see a hand raised in the chat. Feel free to just hover your mouse over the bottom of your Zoom screen. You'll find a Q&A button down there where you can ask any questions that you have. I also launched our first poll question of the day. We'll have a few poll questions to ask throughout the meeting. Our first one is about the type of experiences you offer. So if you work for a tour, an activity, a transportation operator of any sort, we'd love to know what type of activities and experiences you offer, so we can get a better understanding about how we can directly help your business. But it is just after 5 minutes past the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome once again to everybody to this webinar today. We're very excited to launch this new series featuring many of the marketplace integrations that we have here at Zaui Software, how they can help your business And today we are joined by Michael Herman. Him and I go way back. We used to work together when I was at a tour business as well, using one of his other products, but we're really excited to talk about his AI offering today, TourConnect AI, what it can do, as well as different ways that AI can help your business. So today, let's go over to today's agenda. And so we'll cover about 45 minutes today, in which we want to do a quick welcome, do some introductions about myself, about Michael, about each of our businesses, but then we'll jump right into the topic of the day. Everybody wants to know about AI, artificial intelligence. How can it affect your tour business? Sometimes we see a lot in the news about AI, about how it's changing the world, and naturally, we want to see how it can affect our day-to-day business. And sometimes, as tour operators, we can feel like small fish in a big sea. We bet that airlines and accommodations are using this, and sometimes we feel that AI might be out of reach for businesses like ours. So it is really great to get an understanding of how it can work for our business. We, of course, will open it up to questions. Feel free to drop those in the chat. We are joined by some Zaui staff members that will gladly help answer questions. Anything else that can't be answered, we'll have a slide at the end for ways the best to follow up directly with myself or with Michael at TourConnect AI. There we can kind of continue the conversation online as you have more questions. Once again, there is a poll available. Just hover at the bottom of your Zoom screen to check out that poll, answer any questions that we might have in there. Right now, we have the question about the type of experiences that you are being offered, as well as a few other questions that we'll ask later on about your understanding of AI, what you're doing as a business, and how we might be able to help there. Also, again, feel free to ask any questions in the questions panel as well, and our team will help answer those throughout, or we might pick out some individual questions to answer directly in a conversation later. But for now, let's jump over to some introductions. So this presentation is hosted by Zaui Software. Zaui Software, we are a reservations and booking technology company. We're based in Vancouver, Canada, but we have customers in about 110 countries around the globe, nearly every time zone, powering millions of bookings per year. We are designed to drive bookings, help boost online revenue, create efficiencies for your tour businesses, connect your businesses to local community partners or large online marketplaces like the Online Travel Agency Network, which will be part of our discussion today, as well as connecting with wholesalers, travel agencies, and managing your operations on a day-to-day basis. We're built for companies big and small, and we have a passion for helping tour operators. I was a Zaui customer prior to the pandemic. So a little bit of background about myself and how I got over to Zaui Software. I started as a tour guide in the travel industry just over 17 years ago. Where I'm located, calling in from today, which is in Washington, D.C. I led tours around the National Mall. And I, at that company, was using Zaui Software for about 8 years, leading up to the pandemic. And during the pandemic, I shifted over to working for the booking technology that I was using just about every day. So now I work as the head of sales and marketing here, and I bring about 14 years of direct operator experience to this role. And so I love talking to operators and suppliers, figuring out ways that we can help out businesses, improve operations. I love putting on my tour guide hat, my tour operator hat, whenever I can. And so Michael also brings some of that experience too. So want to pass that over to Michael, joining us from TourConnect AI right now, and he can give you an introduction about himself. He'll talk more about artificial intelligence and how it can work for your tour business. So Michael, take it over.
John, thank you very much. Thanks for having me today, first and foremost. We're excited to chat about this. It's something I'm passionate about. And as you can kind of see from the slide here and what John mentioned, I'm an operator myself as well. I still own Bonza Bike Tours in Sydney, Australia. And I built TourConnect to help our businesses, plain and simple. So John kind of mentioned, hey, we're sure airlines have AI technology, et cetera. Well, the fact of the matter is we as tour operators, and I've noticed there's a couple of hoteliers on here as well. Hey, we need that technology for ourselves. So I started TourConnect to handle some of the frustrations I had as an operator and continue to have. And most recently, we've been using AI to help with that. So we have about 4 years of experience in AI, which is a tremendous amount as we're learning as we see a lot of new companies jump into this. But man, the technology is exciting and it is actually going to help your business. So before I kind of go through everything, I just want to give a high overview of what I'm going to talk through. I'm going to start off very high level with AI tools and how to implement them. We wanted this session to be generally helpful for you, not just talking only about the tools that we offer. So we're going to stay pretty high level. And then at the end, what we'll do is we'll go in and actually see one of these tools, our tools, in action as well. So let's get started. All right, so I've categorized types of AI. These are my own categories. These are not official categories. But what you see is as you hear about AI, and I'm sure you're already experiencing this, it's an overload of information. It's really hard to understand how this is actually going to help your business on a day-to-day basis. And I bet that's probably the reason why a lot of you have joined today is saying, hey, I've heard a ton about it, but how's it going to help me day to day? And that's what we're going to try to address today. So in order to help get your head around this, I've got kind of 3 main types of AI that will initially help you get an understanding of what it's going to take to implement it, to get it up and running in your business. So let's take a look at those first. Okay, so the first one, I've used a very simple example. It's embedded AI. Now, this is what I'm calling tools that already have AI built into the application you're already using. The example I've used right here is just Google Photos. Very simple concept. They've added a magic erase feature that allows you to remove stuff from images very quickly and easily. So you can see I got a picture here with a couple bytes in the front. I use the Google Magic Eraser, and then it comes out as a clean image. What that's going to do for my business is, hey, I can post better social media images that maybe we had a great picture that one of our guests took, but it's thrown off because somebody's standing right in the front. Those types of pieces. It could also be used to help your graphic designer save time in cleaning up photos because now they've got this instantly available. The most important concept I'm trying to get across with this is an embedded AI tool is one that's already in one of the tools you're using, and you can just start using it instantly. There's no setup. It's just embedded in the application. Cool. So the next type is what I would call standalone API. So now standalone API is one that's going to be not integrated. So for example, our booking automation tool is integrated with Zaui. Well, this one actually is completely standalone. This is another one of TourConnect's tools. It's actually called Clever Compose. And what it does is you can upload different files, brochures, web pages of your product information, and it will automatically generate email responses that are intelligently using your company's context. It can also create marketing content for you as well using your company's context at the same time. Again, the most important part of this is actually it's standalone. You can just set it up yourself. You don't have to integrate it with any other booking system or any tool that you're using. It's just a quick, easy, simple setup. And you're going to see tons of tools like this out in the marketplace, not just email related, that are standalone, that are very quick and easy to get set up. Great. So we've gone through the embedded, we've gone through standalone, and now the next logical one will be the integrated. So an integrated is the one that I just talked about. It's our booking automation tool, and we're going to show you that here in just a minute. But essentially, these are a little bit more, or can be a little bit more complex to get set up because you're integrating 2 different systems. So in this scenario, our booking automation tool can actually read an email booking, pull the data into a form that is connected to Zaui, click book now, and it will magically go into Zaui through our integration. So again, it's still not a complex tool, but it does have an integration where it's passing data back and forth. So that's going to generally lead you to believe it's going to have a little bit more of a setup. Now, when we go through the demo, you see this setup's pretty simple, but if you get more complex tools, they might have a little more to setting them up. Cool. So just again, kind of recapping, when you're looking at tools, what you want to be doing is start getting your head around what it's going to take to get them implemented in your business. And those three categories will kind of point you in the path of the level of effort it's going to take: embedded, standalone, or integrated. Great. So the next thing I want to do before we go into specific categories of your business that we can help, I want to start with how to actually successfully implement this. Now, some of you guys have great processes in your business, and this is going to be just, yeah, Mike, we know that. That's totally fine. You can zone out a little bit or use it to kind of think through how you might refine those processes. But the most important thing is you can have the best tool in the history of the world, but if your team is not prepared to implement it well, you're not going to have the success and get the most out of that investment as you could have. So what I want to do is just go through a couple of slides about how best to implement these types of tools and get your team entirely on board. Okay, so the first of four is creating a culture of efficiency. I've seen multiple times companies come in and try to implement technology, and the director of the company says, yeah, this is a fantastic idea. This is going to save us a ton. And they go, all right, team, go implement it. Well, the team wasn't involved in that decision, or they don't want to implement this tool. They like the way they've been doing things for many years, and there's a disconnect, and that is a big problem in getting the most out of the tool. Sometimes you'll notice they're not putting their best effort into actually implementing it. So if you create a culture of efficiency where your team is excited about creating efficiency using new technology, it makes it easier for everybody and you get better results. So a couple of ways that you can do that. One is just having leadership buy-in. I tell everybody, it's one thing if you care about this, but the organization top to bottom needs to care so you can get the best results out of it. One of the things we do to get the buy-in, not only through leadership, but through our entire team, we actually have a core culture document for my bike tour company, Bonza Bike Tours. And when people come on board and are interviewing with us to even join Bonza Bike Tours, we actually show them our core culture document. And one of the big pieces in there is efficiency and using technology to create the best experience possible for our customers. So even before they've joined our organization, they know that that is important to us. And it, again, goes to creating an overall culture of people caring about creating efficiency and implementing good tools. Couple other little ones, I won't go into great detail. They kind of speak for themselves. Set up training and workshops for your team. Encourage your team to learn about these tools. You can put staff incentives in place. And I don't love policies. I mean, we're a small business. However, it does help to have some of that. So a good example is if you go back to the Google Photos, if you're removing stuff from pictures, that can completely change the expectations that your customers have on the experience they're going to get. So you want to be very careful in having a policy with your team about what you're willing to do or not do with AI. It doesn't have to be on this grand scale of like, oh my gosh, AI is going to take over the world. No, it's a practical use of a policy of how your team should utilize it. For a larger company, you might actually have some legal or privacy concerns that you really need to consider. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you consider that. Okay, the next piece I would say out of all these could be the most important, and that's identifying and measuring. There's two ways you want to measure. You want to measure what your challenge is or what your opportunity is, and then after you implement a tool, you want to measure what the results of the tool were. So the way that we do that in Bonza Bike Tours, we have a very simple weekly metrics spreadsheet that we use and we talk about every week on our management meeting, and it takes up usually about half of our management meeting. And what we do with that is we actually track things that we think might be a trend. 1 year we were tracking how many e-bike inquiries we got. Well, we actually went back and looked over the course of the year. There was, one every couple of weeks, and then it instantly grew very quickly over time to being 4 to 5 a week, and then beyond that. That doesn't relate to the AI, but it helps you understand how we're using that tracking to realize, oh, there's an opportunity there. Let's take advantage of that. One that is specific to AI that we did is I was getting concerned about how much time we were spending in email. So our team actually tracked how many customer service emails we were answering per week. And ultimately, we knew we were doing about 75 a week, and it was taking us about 3 to 4 hours. That led me to create Clever Compose for TourConnect that can help streamline and make the responses to email inquiries much faster. So again, very simple. Track what the challenges you are and the problem you have. And then once you put in a tool, go back and take a look at it and make sure that the tool solves the problem. Because a lot of the AI tools that you're going to encounter are actually going to maybe not solve everything, and they're part of the learning process. So you really need to be comfortable iterating, say, hey, we tried this tool, didn't quite get the results we wanted. What worked, what didn't? And then you can move on to the next iteration of tool as well. Other simple ones in here, just review your processes regularly for inefficiency. Look at individual tasks and understand how your team is handling a specific task, and see if there's a new AI tool that might be able to help that specific task. And again, try pilot projects. They're not all going to be successful, and don't get discouraged by that. It's all part of the learning process and coming up with good solutions. Okay. The next one would be organizing your data. This one I'm going to keep quite simple. There's an old saying in tech, garbage in, garbage out. If you put bad data into AI, it's going to actually give you bad results. So anything you can do with your data to make it more organized and better is going to be helpful. So again, I've talked about policies twice. I hate doing that stuff, but it could be something as simple as naming conventions. It could be more complex, like GDPR responsibilities, but some basic policies around how you manage all the data is going to be vital in the coming years as AI becomes more and more impactful within these businesses. Centralize your storage. If you're not using a Dropbox or Google Drive or something, it's really nice to have all of your data in one place so that it's easy to access both for your team and for AI. Keep going back, keep cleaning your data, make sure it has the data you need to handle certain tasks. By that, I mean, hey, if you're booking data, your team is supposed to be adding the travel agent that sent you this booking, but they're not. That's bad data. You should have that in there so that you can use that data in there. And then share data. Our company is an open books policy, basically. We share everything with our entire team. That's sometimes not possible with every company, but the more open you are with your data, the more people can make an impact. One last thing here, and this is going to tie in directly with John for Zaui's marketplace. If a tool that you're using has a marketplace, I highly recommend taking note of that, because that means generally they're open with data and you can pass data back and forth. It's a good indicator if they got a marketplace that they're going to let you use your data however you'd like. And then lastly on these is stay curious. I'm not going to go into detail on this one. There are tons of resources to stay up to date. Find speakers on LinkedIn, find articles on the newest tools. There's several industry companies as well that like Focusrite that are putting AI information out. Just stay on top of those and encourage your team to continue to do that as well. Okay, so let's go into the fun stuff. That was a little dry, a little boring, but hopefully helpful for you guys. Now is really where we're going to look at the different areas of business that can be affected and helped with the AI. First and foremost, before I go into these, I want you to keep a few questions in mind when you're looking at AI tools. Will this AI contribute to a more remarkable experience for our guests? Will it reduce costs, enhance profitability, or generate additional revenue? Or will it meaningfully improve the quality of our team's work lives? You know, that's something we don't talk about all the time, but just making it easier for your team on a day-to-day basis can add significant value. You're not burning people out. Okay, so the first area of business out of 4 I'm going to look at is customer support. So there's a few different areas that can be impacted. So I've basically taken the broad level of customer support and said, hey, here's some of the things that we have challenges with that we might be able to utilize. So chat and email with context, so better customer replies and responses, both more efficient and better quality. Automated workflows, so this could be a support ticket. You know, some of the more complex tour companies, you might have a multi-day tour where you've got to get preferences from your customers and move them through different teams in your organization. The automated workflows can help with that. And then lastly would be voice-based applications. I'm going to spotlight one here. I'm going to spotlight one in each of these. Otter AI can actually plug into Zaui, into Zoom and other like Google Meets, and actually write everything and transcript everything that's been said so that you can go through, search, and utilize that information easily. Really cool if you're talking to bigger prospects or talking about a group tour that might need to come up while you're on the phone or having a call with them. It can be transcribing everything so you have the notes later to refer back to. Where I see the future of these types of tools going, I do think voice could be the next frontier. And you can imagine talking to a customer on the phone, they want to make a change to their booking. It's tapped into there and just automatically updating their booking as you talk to them. Cool. From a marketing side of things, a couple of areas. The customer insights are amazing now. Sprout Social, 7 Cents, some of these companies, there's a ton of them out there, are giving you better information about your customers, even to the point where like, what time of day do they typically open emails from like their tracking that they've had in there. Image and video design, you've probably seen a gazillion of these things. I mean, I even just talked about Google's Magic Eraser. But where this is heading, I think there's hyper-focused marketing, even for small businesses, so that you have better data on your customers. And then the email campaigns and such that you're sending are going to be specifically tailored to multiple segments in, say, 100 customers that you're emailing. The one I want to highlight on this one is called Descript. Again, I don't have any affiliation to these. These are just kind of showing you what's out there and how to get your mind around them. Descript, you can actually upload a video. It will transcribe the video, and then you can edit the video by editing the text like you're editing a document. Really quite cool. But again, these are just some of the things out there that might help your marketing team. And again, you want to go back to the types of AI, embedded, standalone, or integrated, and see what type of level of effort it would take to implement these. All right, sales and reservations. They've got better customer data now with the CRMs. We're going to talk about the booking process automation here in a minute. And one of the ones I think is pretty amazing now from a sales perspective for larger venues is they can actually video track where people are in a venue. A little scary, but at the same time, they can track people moving through a venue so that you could put better sales stalls up, etc. Where I see sales and marketing going, I'm going to talk to a little bit more when we're going through our demo here in a minute. Dynamic distribution is one of the things I think is going to be pretty fascinating for our industry. So right now, what we can do is plug in AI to look at your forward bookings, look at your previous booking data, and recognize the dates that you might sell out, at which point you could either A, add inventory by adding a manager, a new tour guide or something like that. Or you could, if you know you're going to sell out and get direct bookings, you could turn off your expensive distribution channels like an OTA that you're paying 25, 30% to, and just take those bookings direct. So that's where I see this stuff going. Cool. And then last one, staffing and operations. We spend a lot of time on staffing for Bonza Bike Tours. There's ones in there now. I've highlighted RotaGeek. that would allow you to, where I see this going is you can actually feed your booking data into your timesheet management or your shift planning software, so that you can automatically ask guides to take over a new shift because you added a new tour. It can also, again, look like, hey, we're probably going to add more people on this one, so you might need another tour guide, things like that. Cool. So that's enough kind of broad general things. I hope that's helpful in giving you an idea of what's out there and how to get your head around it. Again, look at what it's going to take to implement, and then look at the specific business area you're trying to affect, any specific problem that you've tracked through metrics, and then go find a tool for it. That's going to be the most effective way to implement these tools. So today, when we go through the demo, we're going to talk about the booking automation, and then Clever Compose that will help with the email responses and marketing content. To get us started, we're going to start with the booking automation tool, and that's something that is in the Zaui marketplace. So I'm going to turn it back over to John to talk about the marketplace and how it works.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Michael. That was a great rundown. I'm always really excited for these artificial intelligence tools. I remember my time as a tour operator, one of the biggest challenges we had, or at least from my desk, was distributing all of our activities to some of the names you see on the screen right now: Get Your Guide, Expedia, Klook, et cetera, all these online travel agencies. And we had close to 200 products that we were managing, and we had to rewrite our activity descriptions for each and every one of these distributing partners. So having AI would help me do that on a regular basis to rewrite those tour descriptions. I'm also really excited about the dynamic distribution you talked about. That would be really cool to really protect your profits, make sure you protect that organically acquired business so you don't have to rely on any one online travel agency. But they are still very important to our industry. They can market and sell to a wide audience that we may not be able to reach with our limited marketing budgets. So that's where a place like Zaui Marketplace and our integrated channel manager can come in. It's where we connect to a variety of different integrations like TourConnect AI, and we'll show you how that works in a moment. But we have over 80 integrations within our marketplace. Some include the online travel agencies, like you see on the top line. We have Google Things to Do. Google Tag Manager is very important, as well as waiver integrations, communications, payment partners. All these things can be found in our marketplace. So I just want to take over the screen right now, and I am going to show you guys what our marketplace looks like on a live system here. So if you just go to marketplace.zaui.com, you will find all, right now at present count, about 88 of our integrations that we have here, ranging, like I said, from Google Things to Do to a new feature of dynamic pricing, online travel agencies, and anything in between there. We're always adding more. We got some really exciting ones that we'll be working on in the next few months to add to our marketplace. But today we want to focus on TourConnect. So we'll show you guys how that integrates into your basic system here. So what we can do is pull up our TourConnect, and let me just go ahead and find it down here. Bear with me just a moment. See, my search isn't working while I'm screen sharing. Isn't that always a fun way to do it?
That's
so
always
what I'll
how
do
it works, John. That's
isn't it always
good.
works? You gotta love it live. This is why Apple was so good at what they did there. But anyway, we can find an integration here, and we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to pick one out. We'll just do Google Things to Do because that's an easy one. So on an integration page, you'll find the integration described, all sorts of information about it, screenshots, maybe videos. There'll be the ability to, if they charge for that integration, might have a little bit about their pricing, as well as support documents and various resources that are available, and related applications. But Google Things to Do is just as big as AI these days as well. So if you want to install this Google Things to Do channel into your Zaui system, you're already a Zaui customer, it's real simple. All it's going to do is just simply ask you, what is your Zaui login? Essentially, what is your Zaui URL? This will sign right into it. It'll bring you over to your Zaui system, and from there, you'll be able to manage that integration. So like this one, Google Things to Do that we were just applying here, it might ask for a little bit more information, maybe just to simply enable it and save this. That's really all we need to do for Google Things to Do, as well as maybe add in some other settings. For Google Things to Do, we have a little bit of error reporting. So if there's anything wrong with your connection or configuration of your activities to Google Things to Do, it'll have that here. For something like TourConnect, it might ask for an API token, although TourConnect is one of the easier to install. Some of you guys may be familiar with Google Tag Manager. Is very important for tracking your online conversions. You can have that installed very easily directly from our marketplace and just drop in your Google Tag Manager code, enable that particular channel, and all of a sudden, all the transactions that are taking place through your system can be tracked through Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. So that's just a little bit about how our marketplace works, how it connects back to the system, and how you can easily link in a TourConnect AI account or any of our other many other integrations back into your Zaui system to create efficiency, to take advantage of AI, or to simply have better tracking and reporting of your transactions or your success as a business. So with that marketplace out of the way, just one more call to answer questions. Feel free to drop them in our chat or the questions section. We have another poll up asking what you're currently using for your booking software. Feel free to answer that. But I'm now going to turn it back over to Michael, who's going to give us a little demonstration about TourConnect AI's integration with Zaui and how that works, and how it can assist email bookings, which is always a big issue for us. When we were tour operators, getting a ton of email bookings back in and having people to type out one by one every single booking, it's a time-consuming process. So I'm glad that we finally have a tool to really address that. So Michael, why don't you go ahead and take over and show us how this works?
Sounds great. Are you able to see my inbox there, John?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. So what we have right now for TourConnect is what I would call our intro to AI tools. They're very simple to get set up and rolling. Take just a minute. Once you've enabled the app in the Zaui Marketplace, we'll help you through getting a couple of items set up that you need set up, and you're off and running. So starting with the booking automation tool, what we found was our team was receiving a significant number of bookings from traditional wholesalers or DMCs, some OTAs that we had to manually load into our booking system. And we wanted to create a tool to help make that more efficient. And that's what the booking automation tool does. So in the example here, I've got an inbox, a rather clean one. I'd love to see our inboxes clean all day, every day with bookings entered. But what you can do is open up an email. The add-in works in both Gmail as a Chrome extension, and for Outlook. It takes just a minute to set those up, and we'll walk you through those as you sign up as well. Once you open an email, the first thing that it's going to do is it can match the email sender. You know what? I'm in the wrong account here real quick. Hold on. Oh, yeah, got it there. Okay. So it can match the email sender with a reseller in Zaui. So I can say, yep, remember this email address is actually GYG. Say yes, and it will remember it forever. So every time you get an email from this particular email address, it will match the reseller in Zaui. That's not the magic part. The magic part now comes when you click pre-fill from email. So when you click pre-fill from email, what I find is by the time I've read the email down the side here, I can actually see that it's pulled all the information over into the booking form on the right. So you can see it took the reference number, put it in the reseller reference. It took the PAX names and put them in here. One of the most important things to remember about this form is it's just that. It's just a form that's connected to Zaui. So you can always write over anything you'd like to write over if there happened to be a mistake in what was extracted. You can also click on the little light bulb and pick anything else that was extracted but not defaulted into the form. So just with a simple click, you can change some of the data in here. Now, what it does is it actually matches the Segway tour, the tour that was requested and the dates with the products that are in Zaui, and pings Zaui for live availability. At which point you can just click book now and it will create the booking in Zaui. Now I'm going to go back over. I already created one here with this particular one, and it will show you, bing, this was created in Zaui. It will come back with the booking reference. You can even cancel this in Zaui directly from the history here, or you can copy the text and paste it in a reply if you needed to reply to the wholesaler. So again, very simple. You're opening up a booking, click pre-fill from email. It will pull the information out. Once you've done a final review, you can actually click book now and it will send it into Zaui. And I'm going to have John show you that one in Zaui here now. Do you want to swap over and take this screen sharing, John?
Absolutely. Yeah, and thanks for showing us that. I think, like I said, a very, very cool tool. You and I both remember the days of before connected to a lot of online travel agencies. We had to enter all this information manually, and what a process that was for sure. Naturally, the screen sharing in Zoom led to a little issue, but I firmly believe, or it's not firmly believe, I know our search is working once again here, and we also have that booking that Michael just created dropped into the Zaui system. So we have this Brad Taylor. He was booked on this wilderness run back in June 24th, 2023. You could see it booked by TourConnect, which is great, but TourConnect wasn't the company that actually sold the booking. It was just the AI tool meant to simplify, create efficiency, and drop this booking right into the Zaui system. So we have in our booking information, we can see that this booking was labeled as a Get Your Guide booking, and it brought over the voucher number for us. And so we know that this booking is now live in our system, came right from TourConnect. We may have to, as part of our accounting, take note of any commission that might be owed to Get Your Guide or the reseller that we're working with. Zaui, of course, has all those tools to track all of that in your booking system. And then, of course, this is going to update your availability across your entire network. So whether you're working live with concierges, with online travel agencies, or directly with your website, your inventory is now updated live to all of those distribution channels where you're connected. So that was just a very simple overview of the TourConnect tool and how it connects back into a Zaui system. If you do have any questions about Zaui, we'll provide our email address a little bit later. We'll also provide some follow-up information for you guys and the meeting recording a little bit later on. But let's turn back over to Michael just to provide us with a little summary, put a bow on it. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and we might pick out some to answer as well right here. So we had a question from Carolyn, actually, before you jump into that summary there, Michael, which was very relevant. What about amendments and cancellations? What happens with those?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we are working to make sure we have full access to all of your bookings in Zaui. That's kind of the next phase for us. That will allow us to search any bookings that you have already created, not just the ones created through TourConnect's booking automation tool. Once we have access to all of those, which would be a future feature here coming shortly, we can do cancellations and amendments on anything that comes in via email. So that's not a worry whatsoever. The other nice thing we can do too, which we found with several clients, is we can handle bookings that come in attachments of any type. So PDFs and spreadsheets are typically the most standard. And we're working on the capability for companies. I know JohnView, I think, is one of the ones in Canada that sends an attachment with tons of bookings in it. We're working on the ability to handle multiple bookings at one time. Right now, we handle one booking at a time. But yeah, cancellations and amendments, those will be coming here shortly. And if it was created in TourConnect's booking automation tool, those features are available already. Great. Were there any other questions that popped through that I need to address right now?
Yeah, Carolyn says JohnView also sends cancellation amendments in those PDFs as well.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we'll be working through, is being able to handle kind of that end-to-end suite of a booking, the whole life cycle, the opening, hopefully not too many cancellations, but adjustments and handling multiple at the same time. Great.
Awesome. No other questions on the chat right now, but anybody else still participating, feel free to drop any questions you might have. But Michael's going to wrap things up right now, and we look forward to talking soon.
Great. So a couple last little things here. I'm going to also mention another tool that I talked about. It's our Clever Compose tool. This tool was designed to intelligently reply to email inquiries that you get and help generate marketing content using your company's information. So like right now, you could go into ChatGPT and say, hey, generate a social media post, but it knows nothing about your company other than what it might have found in its broad collection of data. What you can do is upload specific information that you would like to be used in your customer inquiry responses and your marketing content. So here you can see after you sign up, we land you on this page and you can upload information. You can do URLs, so product information. You can see here our different tours. You can see I've uploaded a brochure that we have. Our paper brochure is actually just an electronic format that I've loaded in here. Some bike hire and rental inclusion, frequently asked questions, and our overall frequently asked questions. Now, what's neat about this is when you go in and open up the Clever Compose add-in, it can open up next to an email and draw that email in. As you can see here, it's detected, and I'm asking it to write a customer response. We have advanced options. You can choose a casual tone, brief, detailed. You can choose the language that it generates the reply in, and just hit submit. And it's going to use all those forms that I have just uploaded in there to create the answer to, hey, we're hiring some bikes. What's the price and what's included in the bike hire? So I've chosen Australian English. So because it's casual, you see it say "G'day" rather than "Hello, Tim." So a little more casual and friendly, which is our brand's identity. Very simple response. Yep, 2 adults, 24-hour hire would be $50 per person, includes the bike, maps, and direction. Great, simple. If I wanted a more detailed response, I could do that as well. Now, we started building this tool purely as an email inquiry response tool. However, we realized, oh my gosh, it can do so much more. It can actually generate marketing content. And we've come up with a couple internal training use cases, like generating a test quiz, which from our team's perspective would be great to create a quiz over our tour content for our guides. And we put these into sample prompts up here. So I'm going to use the social media post one right now. We've put the prompt above, and you can just add in what you'd like. So I want generate social media posts about our bike tours for Halloween, and click submit. You can always go up and change the prompt, and we actually allow you to do ask anything for the personal assistant, so you can write whatever prompt you want. And for those of you not familiar with it, a prompt is just an instruction to the AI to perform a specific task for you. This is a very new tool for us, so the accuracy and the speed is going to increase over time. However, you should get some nice basic responses here for what you need. So this one here, I asked for some social media posts. Get ready for a spectacular adventure at Bonza. Perfect, great. I've got a simple social media post ready to go. But again, we've given you a bunch of prompts that you can use to help get your mind through what you might want the tool to be used for, and make it easy for you. But again, super simple, takes about 1 minute. Going back to what I spoke about earlier, this is a standalone product, so it doesn't take much to get it started and going. Excellent. So just in summary, let me pull up our slide here. So in summary, don't be just prepared for the AI revolution. Embrace it. It is here. It's not coming. It's here. It's in the early stages. So this technology is changing rapidly. That's one of the reasons we didn't spend time on this webinar to just throw new tools at you. We highlighted the two tools that we work with, but tried to give you a framework to think through how these AI tools can help you. So just get on board and, again, be ready to iterate. It's not going to be a perfect process. You're going to learn as you go. And if you can create a culture around your company that embraces the uncertainty that comes with this and the newness that comes with it, and the goal of efficiency, I think you're going to see a lot of success. So we'll open it up to ask any more questions here, I think, as well. I think there's some that might be in the QA or chat. Please feel free to let us know if you have questions now. Here's a few ways that you can keep in touch with us going forward. So you can reach out to our email addresses. So John and his team at sales@zaui.com. You've got my team at support@tourconnect.com. And then these are the two links in here. You can see how new our tool is. We just changed the name from Email Assist to Clever Compose, but that link will link to the product anyways, and our booking automation tool there as well. But we're here to help. I think John would echo this as well. Look, we love tourism. The whole reason we're here and why we are working at the companies that we are is to help our businesses thrive and ultimately help travelers have the best experience that they can possibly have. So anything we can do to help, please reach out to us. Let us know, hey, can your tool do this? We'd like it to do that, or anything we can do to help your businesses grow and thrive. So thank you so much, John. Thanks to your team for having us, and really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once again, thank you to Michael. And you touched on something at the very end there, is that, the tour business industry is so great. One of the best things about it is the human to human interaction that we have. And AI really isn't trying to replace that. We both did bicycle tours, walking tours, food tours, all sorts of things that rely on an actual tour guide to step in, to have that human connection. What AI does a lot is help really focus on that. Take time away from menial tasks to take you away from your customers, make it more efficient, make your business better, help it sell more, and maybe dedicate more resources to that human-to-human connection there. So that's something we're certainly really passionate about, and we hope that the technology can really back all that up. And we think we got a great one with TourConnect AI. Of course, the Zaui Marketplace is there to help as well. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining on this webinar today. If you have any questions, like Michael said, just reach out to our emails. I think we answered just about everyone in the chat there. Thank you to one of our guests who said they found this to be extremely informative and helpful. If you did, let us know. If you didn't, also let us know about that too. Like in tourism, bad reviews are just as great as good reviews, because it helps us get better. So once again, thank you so much. The recording will be available and sent out to everybody shortly after this ends, and have a great day.